It is Sunday, December 8th. At what time? 1:15. And they want me to get on the camera, so I'm going to get on the camera for just a second. I've done these before. Have you seen these shirts before? They're almost like Under Armour, but they're sun shield, but they're good. They do keep you a little warm. But I'm going to do a product endorsement. I showed these ladies this today, and Nikki Oversmith said it does work. But you get a small little container. I think you might be able to get them bigger. It's called Tiger Balm. I rubbed it on my shoulder this morning because I've been having shoulder issues for the last 5 months. And where I rubbed it, the pain is gone. So I don't know if it's going to hold up or not. So one more product endorsement, and they each get one of these. Julie's tried it, but I don't know if she was lying or not when she said it was good. But this is different because I gave you the oil kind. This is albacore. Have you ever had albacore tuna? It's the white stuff. Well, I don't know. Some people don't eat tuna, but it's really good. So I'm going to give them each one. Now, Nikki said she does not eat it, so she's going to give it to Eric. So I don't know what Trisha and Julie are going to do. But that's for them taking some time out of their day. So I'm going to step off off the screen here because we don't have enough room. But we're going to talk about their lives leading up to the 91 and 92 state championship teams, the first two championships for New Haven High School. So for some that don't know, I'm going to introduce you because I don't know how comfortable we are. Right here, Nicole Hafner Overschmidt, also known as Nikki. Tricia Horseman Fleer, Julie Gertis Westemeyer. They were all part of the 91-92 teams. Did you guys graduate in 92? Are you?
93, we graduated.
Okay, yeah, so that would have been, I always get screwed up on the years. So what we're going to do, and I don't care who goes first, and I don't know if you guys are real comfortable, and don't go into great detail. You don't have to say like brothers, sisters, uncles, whatever, but I told them or asked them earlier to make sure that Tricia went to Assumption, but they all went to different grade schools and elementary schools until they got to high school, correct?
Yes.
So we're going to start with Nikki. Here's what I know about Nikki. She lived down the street from me on Bates Street. She has a brother named Larry. I forgot your mom's name. Your dad's name was Gus. Did you live on Bates Street the entire time, or did you guys?
We moved to Herman.
You
third
did?
grade, yeah. My brother graduated from Herman.
Did you move back on Bates then? Okay. So were you there throughout high school?
Lived on that one road
No,
that,
when we moved back, we actually moved to Highway E.
Really?
And then, actually reverse. We actually lived off of Mary Hammock, which is now, it used to be a little house down behind Olivia Court
Yeah.
before they made that a through street. And then
I remember
Then we
that.
moved to Highway E.
I guess maybe because, let's see, Larry did he graduate from here or Herman?
Herman, 86. So he did his
Okay, I
sophomore,
knew he
junior,
was
and senior year.
5 years older than me. I guess you were so young when I was used to going there because we lived on Miller Street. But
Right.
so you obviously went to Herman or from New Haven and from what years?
Third grade to sixth grade. I came back in my sixth grade year.
And then from 6 on, so you played volleyball. Did you play volleyball at Herman at all, or in the club, or did you start when you were?
I started back here at
Okay.
H&H.
Okay, so were you aware? The reason I ask this is because I think a lot of people that see other players from other schools, like, man, once we get combined, I don't know if it was so much back then, but like now with all the social media, is like, man, once we can, it's kind of like when I interviewed Dwayne Cretley about St. George basketball. He's like, we could have been the super team if we could have combined it, but there were like, now someone on St. George says, yeah, there was kind of a let's come over here and play, but. So were you aware of these two? Were you guys friends? I mean, obviously,
Yeah, I was friends
were you
with
friends with Julie also?
I
Or?
didn't really know Julie. No.
You were out in the country.
Yeah, she lived at R2, and we didn't really interact.
So did you? And we're going to go down the line, but you said you played Asian. Were you? Did you not play?
We did eventually. Was
Yeah,
it
eventually.
Tri-County was that one over that we practiced at East Central?
at East Central, that was
Like for a year or
Tri-County. I
two,
want to say
and-
that was 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah, probably so.
Ish.
And then we did her.
So
H&H.
Yeah.
did you
But I knew
do?
Trisha growing up.
So did you do H&H in 6th grade, or did you do Tri-County?
I did not do Tri-County. I did H.
So you were already in that system, H&H, and then they came in.
Yeah,
I can't remember, was H&H after Tri-County?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
so maybe I did it later on.
I think.
maybe
I don't-
when we got older.
Okay, as
Well,
some
we didn't
of,
start volleyball till 7th grade, when it was our grade, when we were younger. Middle school is when we all started playing sports, right?
Not us.
At R2 for
Fifth grade. Fifth
Yeah.
grade at the smaller private schools
Yeah.
or whatever you want to
At
call
New
it.
Haven, we didn't start till 7th grade.
okay, as you know, some of you, I created a lot of controversy on my first volleyball video, kind of complaining about Mid-State right now and the state of it. I have to ask, back in back in the 80s, it would be the 80s then, believe it or not, was it truly the best players on the team, or was it similar what they do, or did, as I explained, good, average? And I have nothing, like I said, I have nothing against the people that haven't developed yet, because I think they need to play, but I also think you should have an A team, a B team. Was it a true tryout then, or was it like, hey, we're going to see how many teams we can get?
It was
I think it was more of a true tryout
It
back
was
then.
true.
Okay.
It wasn't make everybody
Yeah,
happy back then.
We got to see how many teams we can get. And I understand the purpose of that, but I think you guys will agree. You need to have different tournaments, something that you can compete in, because if you're just splitting them and you're getting your butt kicked every time. It's like, man, is this the way it's going to be? So we have you covered. We're not going to go to a bunch of personal stuff, because I always say it's your business. So we got you covered up until freshmen. Were you guys pretty good? Obviously, you guys in junior high. No, were you guys pretty good at the schools? Do you remember? Was Coach Carey your coach then? Because he said he coached junior high.
Yes, he was our.
Were you guys pretty good? I mean, obviously you
I
had
think
some
we were.
players. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
because
mean, we had Suzanne,
who else would have been on there then?
well,
What in your age group?
Bethany, Suzanne. Oh, you guys weren't up there. Did you guys come over in middle school? Assumption stayed in their own team.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
at a
think.
different time too.
else?
Like we
Jennifer
played in the fall.
would have
It
been
was
Jennifer Little.
She was at our
She was at our
She went to R2. No, she wouldn't have been playing. That's a long time ago, Ken.
Well, and I understand it. I'm gonna see if I can find a photo, and
find
you
a
guys
photo.
might have one
I just
closer.
remember Suzanne.
Because
Be honest.
What I'm
Who else
asking
was
is
like
because-
Kim Cash, did she play volleyball?
here's 91. You had Karen Cardwell, all them, Suzanne, you, Kim went to Assumption.
Well, she moved out here in middle school, didn't she?
That's what I was wondering. Did Kim? I knew I played with one of you.
So then you had Bethany Stagemeyer. And then we'll see the second group, maybe some younger ones, because, and the reason I ask is, and I tell, and I'm going back even further. Both my junior high teams won like 2 or 3 games, and you're like, man, are we going to have anything? That's why I asked, when you guys see looking back, it's like, man, we got some players here that we're going to be pretty good, but we'll build up to that. Let's see if we can have
Did Amy play?
Amy.
Riediger? She might have played in middle school.
The only ones that would have been younger than you, obviously, was Missy Bush was there, the Brown girl. I guess the Dare King girl came from R2. Jill was Jill and Jamie, were they in the same class? Jill Shriver and Jamie.
Jill would have been right
Under us.
under us, and Jamie would have been.
So Jill would have been in 7th grade, I guess, when you were
She
in
was
8th
at
grade.
Assumption though.
Or was she there? So yeah, really, you guys must
Well,
have,
her 8th grade year, she would have came here because I was the last class to graduate from Assumption.
unless you had a bunch of them that quit or didn't make it on there. So, but we'll
Trisha Gumper,
Trisha Gumper, but she was 7th grade.
yeah.
okay. So we have Nikki covered up, and we're going to make these about 30 minutes apiece because, like I said, loading them takes forever. Nothing's really user friendly. So, plus people don't want to watch. I would rather watch a 2 or 3 hour video at one time, and so you're not breaking it up. But so we have you covered until high school, and we'll build up on that. And next we have Trisha that came from Assumption. So you probably and I know it's a long time ago, and you can't. To me, you can't really compare the parochial schedule with, because even no matter how good we thought Kylie's little group was until she started playing the 4 Rivers Conference teams, and you're not having 4th through 8th graders play against each
Right,
other, it's a
right.
hard way to gauge. So did you, man, I just can't believe, you guys had enough for a team? Enough girls up
We
there?
had an A and a B team. 5th and 6th grade played on the B team. 7th and 8th was A team. So there were, I don't know, did we play volleyball and basketball all on the same night? When we were, I don't know, I feel like we had long nights.
Well,
Long nights, you know, but yeah, no, we had, we had 2 teams, all
Well,
through
when-
5th through 8th grade.
When Kylie went to St. George, it wasn't that way, but there was some of those nights they wanted to play more. So even if a team won after 2 sets, you like, or because they only played best of 3, I think. Is
Yeah.
that it? If I remember. But they would want to play more sets because one team would do. So who was your coach at? Because you don't remember.
I was
think
afraid
Dennis.
you were gonna ask
Dennis
that.
was
I
my
don't,
coach, he was.
And if you don't remember, I didn't know it.
don't.
Were you guys? Obviously, you'd play like Lords. Did you guys play St. George out of Herman?
yes, St. George,
So that would've been-
R2,
Spring Bluff,
IC, Immaculate Conception.
St. Vincent, all those schools that
St.
they probably
Vincent,
go.
there was we played in Rosebud.
There's Immaculate
a-
Conception there.
Okay, we
Or no,
played
there's a
there.
Lutheran, Emmanuel Lutheran.
Emmanuel Lutheran,
Yeah.
Rosebud,
Basically other K districts and,
Yeah.
and,
yeah, I mean, we didn't
Private
intermingle
schools.
like with New Haven or
yeah, well, they were different.
different
Yeah.
seasons.
yeah.
So, do you remember if you guys were, because I asked her, were you guys pretty good, or do you?
I mean, I feel like we were, but it's like, of course, you know. I don't know. It's. I mean, I feel like we were pretty good for as small of a team we had, but I don't. A lot of those kids that were at Assumption went on to Borgia or Washington. You know, they didn't live in town.
Well, and
So-
the reason I ask about coaching is St. George and Herman's been very fortunate with coaches. They now have Coach Lampkin, was Coach Bierk doing on the lower level. You have Megan Steers, which has played at the college level. You had Speckhouse there for a while doing it. So it would be different than a public school because you'd more, hey, who wants to coach? And half the time people probably don't even know what they're doing.
I'm sure ours was probably a high schooler or.
So that's why I didn't know if you guys were that good or if you remember. But obviously, it's different playing in Assumption Gym on the cold tile floor
Exactly.
and all this other stuff. So we didn't talk about. Obviously, you grew up in New Haven.
Mm-hmm.
I do probably know a little more about you than her because she kind of said she left. You grew up on Hickory Street. Tell me if I'm wrong on any of this.
Okay.
Your dad's name was Stanley.
Yes.
Your mom's name is Mary Lou, and you have an older brother. He was 3 years older than me, Steve.
Yes. Graduated in '87.
And your mom still lives, without saying the address, still lives in that house, correct?
Yes.
I just saw her at the store about a week ago. So
She does.
we'll build this in here, and if I repeat stuff, it's because as you can see, I don't write anything down. But did you guys play 2 or 3, and we'll get to Julia, did you guys play a lot of volleyball away from club? Did you guys ever get to, because when I was a kid, we didn't have as much, obviously, as they do now. We were always playing basketball or did you guys play like in-town softball? Or obviously, girls' basketball wasn't a
Yeah,
thing
we
around
played
here.
softball, Little League, they called it back
Little
then,
League, yeah.
whatever, Little League softball.
We played against each other.
Yeah.
So that's probably
But it
your
was
only
just the town
interaction.
team, kind of the same program that
Yeah.
they have going today.
So that's probably your
but-
only interaction you had, other than if you were on club with the other girls, unless you lived in
Correct.
town. Obviously, Julie lived out of town, so
Yeah, until we played club ball, H&H and Tri-County, or Tri-County then H&H, I guess it was.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember Tri-County at all, but obviously I didn't
Well,
play
I
club ball.
think that has now changed to,
Fe- is it
what's the
FC?
big, maybe FC United?
FC has so
There's
many teams
several
now, yeah.
options,
There's,
I
Yeah.
think.
yeah,
This is Show Me.
but we had tryouts and everything over at East Central College.
So,
There were several Union girls that I'm still friends with today that were on that team.
well, and that's what I brought up, and I
And
don't,
Borgia.
There were Borgia
Well, yeah,
girls
we
as
played,
well.
Show Me
I think Dave
Game.
Hackman was one of our coaches for.
Yeah, Dave
we
Hackman
did-
coached
we
for
did
Show
play
Me Games with some Borgia girls.
And that's
That was
what-
more in high school, wasn't it?
Yeah.
and that's what I brought up in one of my volleyball videos because, and I don't know, Coach Westermeyer here may have the same mentality. Stay here, play here, do this, boom, 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 don't leave, don't do anything, stay here. That's kind of the way it is in Herman right now. Because Mid-State's kind of faltering if it's going to make it or not. We need girls to stay here. But you brought up an interesting point, which Tim Otten agreed with, and I said in the video, you probably made friends with people on those teams that you would have never met before. And you may have been exposed to some cultures that you don't see in small town New Haven. So I always say it's good at some point to branch out and just not, plus you can learn
Yeah.
stuff from other people
I
too.
think
So
Tri-County was actually more middle school age. and
Yeah,
then H
and
and H.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Because
I
I
don't know that
met-
H and H like had been established for very long.
Well, I remember.
I think
No,
that
we
might have
was
been
one of
part
the
it.
first,
Right.
first
Because I
couple
remember,
years.
one of the first ones I remember is, I think, is Raylene, was she older than you?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it wasn't her, but I remember, because I used to come in here
Renee.
and work out, was Jessica Field, which was very good in what,
Gosh, I remember.
would
that.
she been in the early mid-90s?
She would have,
Would she been after you?
oh yeah, yeah.
But I remember her playing, coming down here, because obviously I think you guys switched practices, maybe you did it here, and then, because it's mostly Herman and New Haven girls, correct? It was, they didn't, so, okay, we're 15 minutes, so now we're moving on to, do you would prefer me to call you coach? I mean, because you're what, not a head coach anymore? You don't, do your players still call you coach when they see you?
Some, yeah.
Or they call you Mrs. Gertis or Mrs. Westemeyer?
Coach, yeah.
So, you grew up, is it Beth Lutheran?
Beth Lutheran Road.
Okay, pretty good memory, don't I? Not that I go out and spy on you, but I remember. So you went to R2, and obviously you had a cousin. You have a cousin, Heidi, that's a year older than you. So you had some players on this team that you, from R2, that played on both of these.
Yes.
So, do you remember who coached you back then?
I do, Diane Bauer White.
Okay.
And then there's another coach, she was a math teacher here for a while. I want to say, was her first name Cheryl or Sherry? Cheryl, was it Rowden? Was there a Rowden? She was a math teacher. I think she coached us for, first before.
I remember Mrs. Rowden, but I don't remember her where, she was not in the high school, I don't think.
Okay. Diane could probably answer that. But
She may have been.
She was at some point in there, but Diane.
So, did you guys at that time play? You not Nikki, because they didn't. Did you guys play during the season against each other?
We did, yes. And I do remember this was out of season. We came in, and Coach Carey had arranged for us to play you guys when you were in season. Because I remember coming here, because that was kind of a big deal.
No.
I mean, for R2
Yeah.
to come into,
Yeah.
because it wasn't a normal, and it was not during our normal season. I do remember that.
Was that legal? That's why I asked him in an
not now.
interview. I
Nowadays.
said, was it legal to bring me in and play, not against you girls, but
Yeah.
like against Katie McZuka in that age group?
Yeah.
To go in, and I said, I always thought as long as you're not keeping a running score, you would probably know more than this, your rules. But I often thought about basketball. I was like, was that legal? But
Oh,
so, but I know every school does it. So, am I missing anything? Because we're gonna, like I said, we're only at 18 minutes because we're just kind of covering when you grew up before we got in high school. But so, okay, we'll get to your 8th grade year. Were you guys was this when? Did you guys play on the same club ball team before you got in high school? Do you remember all three of you? No.
I don't think so.
I
I
don't
can't
know.
really remember, but I don't.
I mean, I think maybe we did, but I don't remember.
So maybe you would know, Julie, that before the season, obviously you guys come from different schools, so you have no clue what's going on.
Right.
When you were the coach, did you have a meeting like during the tail end of the 8th graders' year of school or over the summer? Because volleyball, I know, starts, August 1st, practice?
Sometime in August, yeah.
Or it's around the first part. So what I'm getting at is we made it through junior high. So did Coach Carey have a meeting and brought you a preseason meeting? I mean, surely you had conditioning before the season practice started.
conditioning.
Do you guys remember that if you
But we
had?
didn't have conditioning like they do now.
No,
It didn't
we
go
did
all.
it during the season.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't think we were expected, now they do, 3 days a week or something,
Yeah,
and,
it was
I mean,
not
it's,
that.
it was nothing like that, it was not,
We didn't have summer workouts.
we didn't have summer workouts.
Was the gym open? Because Coach Steinoff and Mr. Strobe always had the gym open on Wednesdays for open gym basketball.
I don't think we had that. for
Did you guys was that ever even thought of? Am I just,
Not,
We never did it.
I don't remember having open gyms or any, not like they do now.
do you think that would have helped? And I know you get some sloppy play, but if you would have had an open gym and someone like me or someone whatever would come in and give an opportunity for you guys to play against some people that actually put the ball down pretty, or I mean, someone, or even the college girls potentially, you think that would have helped, or now is there a reason why they don't have it here now?
Well, in the summer, they do have open gyms,
Yeah.
and
Was it like
alumni do come in and play
Yeah.
with them.
they do
I don't
now,
know
or
how
did they
they
have
do.
it? Did they have it when
Not
you?
when we were in school, I don't think
No.
we did that, but they do that now. They have
Okay.
open gyms and alumni come and
Okay.
they split them into teams and they scrimmage. Most of
Usually
the
younger
time.
kids and older
Yeah.
kids and alumni.
Yeah, there's,
Is it organized by the coaches? I didn't think you, or is that just a couple people step up and say, let's play ball?
I think coaches, yeah. I don't know.
but it's not a
I've been out
formal,
of that for a little while.
it's not a formal practice though,
Right.
so I guess that's,
Well, you know, it's different with basketball because, and you guys probably were never here, you shot for teams. And, and then if you had 25 people, well, let's shoot, and then you'd have people set now where it'd be much different if coach would have walked in and said, okay, we're gonna invite some teams up and play. So it was just, I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble, I'm just wondering if that's,
I don't
It's
think it
totally
was,
just, I mean, it's nothing.
Yeah. I think it's
nothing
like-
organized. And I think sometimes they have themes, like Christmas theme, Patriot. I mean, it's.
I think
Tie
it's for fun.
dye.
They have two
Okay.
courts going,
Just for fun.
I think. And normally it's assumed that the
Older
C
kid.
team and the JV play on one court, the alumni and the varsity play on the
okay.
other.
Well, that's really
I think
nice
it's a
that they
very
do that.
casual,
I think it's a nice thing they do that
Yeah.
and get, because Mr. Strobel, nothing against the current regime here, he always liked older or alumni coming back. And even if he's using the weight room, hey, I just want you in here because kids go in there and talk to you, blah, 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 blah. So it is nice that they open the gym. So before we quit, because we're at 21 minutes, and I ask you if there's anything in the summer, did you guys get together at all? You guys probably, none of you probably really knew, you two probably didn't really know Julie, correct?
well, we knew of each other.
But
I
you
can't
wasn't like,
say-
hey, you were, hey, what are you doing?
No, I did probably with Nikki.
Yeah.
So,
Our dads were on the fire department.
Yeah, we hung out a lot.
We got into some mischief.
well, and that's what's really,
Just a little.
Yeah.
hey, just for your information, if you're not on my aunt's Kreftmeyer's market page, they show a lot of the old stuff. It's really neat.
Yeah.
Because you see, I've seen your father and your father,
Yeah.
and it's just like the old pulling
Yeah.
up 2-point
So-
buck, down a 2-point buck, and they're, oh, look at my deer this year. But it's
Yeah.
really neat to see those.
So I would say Nikki and I knew each other much better than, we knew who the R2 kids were, obviously, but I can't say that we hung out a lot.
Did you guys talk? I think maybe, and maybe you guys agree, the older I get, the more I analyze stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So at that age, did you ever hey, was volleyball ever brought up? It was is it because you didn't really have this
No.
pickup games like we had basketball, or is hey, Tim and Derek, whatever, is man, we're gonna be pretty good this year because you really didn't have that other. Your only time together would potentially been at club ball. Is it?
Our
Am I just
season,
putting?
yeah.
Am I putting too much into it as an adult? Because when I was a kid, going up each level and we were getting better, I was we're going to be pretty damn good. And it's just got.
I don't
know that
remember
we-
thinking about
I don't
that a
either.
whole
I just
lot.
remember
I
playing
do
the
think
game.
that was maybe part of the reason that R2 came in to play.
'Cause
like,
Coach
practice
saw
or
some,
play
hey,
against
Coach
you
is-
guys. Yes.
To see what kind of
yeah.
possibilities
coming
there
in.
were.
I do.
Yeah.
Because he did make a mention in the video that I did with him out here that, especially the 90 team, that's why when you guys were coming up, he did mention that he saw a lot of potential with you younger girls. And although he probably didn't want a particular one or two to quit, it did give you guys opportunities to play at that level where potentially you would have not got to play because people were in front of you, which he did make mention of Kim Fender's boxing, whatever. Now I don't want to that she was a pretty good player, but there were other people that were ahead of her that she probably would have got time on other teams, but there were just players that. So we'll take a break if we guys need to get a drink or whatever, and we'll come back, and then if you guys want to interject at all, I know I like to talk, but if you guys want to say anything, interject at any time, and we'll go from there. But we'll take a break, and then we'll start back going into the 91 season. You were not in band, were you? Were you in the?
That was a flag.
You were flag.
I was in
Saxophone.
band. Yes.
Flag.
Okay. So obviously we talked about that with Tim on how we'll progress through 91 year of what things, obviously you didn't have basketball season, but obviously volleyball coincides with marching band. There's going to be some people on here, hey, we want to hear some marching band stuff too, but maybe not. Maybe people don't care. But Tim and I said that's some of the best times we had was in marching band.
Oh, yeah, it's totally different than it is
So
now.
let's take a break and we'll be back.